Here I have another Xbox One S. I don't know if it's a 500 gig or a 1 terabyte hard drive that I purchased from eBay as part of a 3 Xbox job lot. I'll leave a link in the description to the first Xbox that we managed to fix. I thought it was a really good one, potentially one of my best fixes yet. So after this video, go ahead and watch that. Let's see if we can go 2 out of 2. First things first, do we get power? I don't know the description of what the error is with this Xbox. It just says that they're all faulty and untested. The condition of it is actually really bad. Not really bad. I've made the camera a little bit darker so you guys can see, but it's just really dirty all around. We have a lot of scuff marks up here and also marks down here. We also have a really big chip on the console, as you can see, just here on the edge. So I don't know if this is broken because somebody dropped it, but we're about to find out. Does it power on? Here we go. No, we get no power on this one. Disk drive? No, nothing. I can hear a little bit of whirling inside, so it's doing something. Let's take it apart and have a look. This one's a little bit weird because it has the wording from Microsoft. So when you actually peel off a warranty sticker, it tends to have these words come through the sticker. It's really weird. They become visible. I'm half thinking that somebody's been inside it. As I'm taking this console apart, you can see there's a little bit of rust here, and it doesn't look great because rust is always bad. It's usually a really bad indication of heavy water damage. However, I've never seen this before. What on earth has happened here? There's rust, and then there's mother of rust. How does it, I've got so many questions, I don't know where to start. Did somebody buy like a water USB cable that they've plugged in and just drowned the USB port with water? Like, what's happened here? I'm sure if this Xbox One S had a story to tell, it would be screaming. I'm gonna carry on taking it apart because I'm really interested. Unfortunately, it's been taken apart before because this is how I found one of the screws. It just slides out. This part doesn't actually look too bad. We only have a 500 gigabyte hard drive this time. The last one was a 1 terabyte, so that's a little bit upsetting. I have really bad news. So the USB port has been replaced before from what I'm looking at, the solder joints. To me, in my opinion, looks like it's been done. What I am noticing is that we're missing the retimer chip, man. So somebody's used this as a donor board and then just sold it as faulty. The joys of buying on eBay. Well, I think in this video we're going to be doing 2 Xboxes because, like I said, the retimer chip is gone, but we're not just missing the retimer chip here, we're missing all sorts of little chips. Where I'm pointing to now, this one says 05C1, that's missing. We have a cap missing up here. We've got around about 3 resistors missing from this area as well. There's so much missing from this board. It would be absolutely pointless and moronic to continue trying to fix this. Plus this beast. Xbox One S board number 2 is definitely going to be used for spares and parts. There wasn't much that we could do about this one. Let's move on to the 3rd Xbox. I won't be keeping this part though, however, it does sound like a really cool instrument. Lovely. Moving on to Xbox number 3, let's see if we can get this one working. Do we get power? Oh, we got the chime, but we didn't get, oh, we get the chime but no light. That's strange. Okay, no light at all, so literally shuts off straight away. What about the okay, yes, let's go. Red Dead Redemption. Oh, that wasn't nice. Come back out. There we go. Red Dead Redemption 2. How's the actual quality of the disc looking? It's looking okay. So we've probably added what? Another 15, 20 pounds? Nice. We know that this gets power, but doesn't really do anything with it. I'm not used to fixing these type of Xboxes. I usually, when I'm looking on eBay, I tend to stay away from beep on, beep off because it can be so many different things with the console. However, this might actually be really good practice. State of the Xbox isn't that great. From what you can see in the lighting, we have a lot of dirt, a lot of marks. Looks like it's been opened before, definitely. And yeah, we just have quite a lot of scuffs all round. Let's take it apart. I do have all the screws here, which is a good sign. We have a 1 terabyte hard drive in this one, so that is a result. If this unit doesn't work, we can use it in another console. It looks like somebody has cleaned off the old thermal paste and replaced it with this one, so pretty hopeless of a fix, but I will continue to investigate. Right, I have the power connected. I have my multimeter here. We're going to test some voltages in a second. One thing I did just want to try is if I put the power back in now, we get a light and it stays on. I've got a light down here and it's just gone off. It wasn't doing that before. Let's see if I can show you like this. I have a light. That wasn't there. I'm assuming it's turning off because it's not got any other components on, or the CPU might be getting really hot. Is it quite possible then that something was shorting it out? Maybe. I'm going to put things back on slowly and see if it works. Mostly everything is back in now. I've got the hard drive, I've got the disk drive, I've got the fan, and I've got the front connector. I haven't put the Wi-Fi module in. Let me do that quickly. So this is everything that it should have. Does it turn on? Let's see, do we get a light? No. We don't. Maybe something's shorting it out. Let me try a different power supply. Just plugged in a different power supply. Do we get the same thing, perhaps? Or is it different? Exactly the same. Now I just need to take things out one by one and see what's causing this not to turn on, I guess, right? So the fan has been unplugged. We're just going to check now. Nope. I've just removed the hard drive. What happens now? Still nothing. Disk drive out. What happens now? Oh, still no light. It's not the Wi-Fi card, is it? No, it's not the Wi-Fi card. So it's nothing. Let me take it out of the casing again. It's out of the casing now. I'm going to put things back on without it being in the casing to see if maybe it's the casing that's causing it. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm going to guess so. So I'm going to put the fan back in right now. The fan's back in. Do we get anything now? We do. We get the light. Does the fan spin? And it's just staying, look, it's staying on, it's just turned off. Okay, the fan didn't spin. Is that maybe because we haven't got a hard drive in, for example, though? So if I put the hard drive in, see what happens. Do we get anything? Yes, we get the light. We get a fan spin. Let's just turn it off again. Turn it on. I can hear the hard drive spinning up. And we have the light down here to indicate that it's on. But we get no fan spin. Okay, and then it just turns off. So if I put the disk drive in, what happens? We get the white light and it just turns off. Theoretically, the fan should spin. I've just put the HDMI cable in. Do I get anything on the screen? I doubt it. No, nothing on the screen. Now I need to count how long this is roughly staying on for. So let's do that. Well, that's about 15 seconds. That's a long time for the console to stay on, not have the fan spin up, and then just shut down. I've just turned it on, and this is a different fan, as you can see, and it's just turned off again. So I definitely know that it's not the fan, for example, that's causing this beep on, beep off issue. I'm gonna have a look under the scope for any visible damage because it keeps beeping on and then beeping off. Before I start inspecting the board, I've brought up the FLIR cam, okay? You can see that the CPU's been hot from where I've been putting it on, putting it off, putting it on, putting it off. So there seems to be power going to CPU. But look what happens to the south bridge when I turn it on. Turn it on now. You see his little spot of heat? Look at that. And it's rising, rising, rising. 35, 36 degrees. And then it turns off. Nothing else on the board really looking to get hot from what I can see. The CPU is at 50 degrees though. Celsius. We have a bit of a discovery. This is the 12 volt line, and as you can see, we've got a lot of flux. Look at this. We've got tons of flux here. Well, okay, I say a lot of flux. It's actually not that much, but there is definitely flux. And if I follow it up, there just seems to be some sort of liquid, which I can assume is flux, on the board around this cap. Look, that looks to have been changed. I don't know if this fuse has been changed here. This MOSFET, it doesn't look like factory solder. Looks like it's potentially been changed. Also definitely looks like it's been changed. Look at this blob of solder here. So I'm starting to feel less and less confident about this. This resistor has tons of flux around it. I'm just going to take some measurements. I believe this resistor and this resistor are 2 ohms. I'll measure them really quick to see what we get. And I'll do that on each section of the power rail. Yeah, they all seem to be coming out at 2 ohms. So it's not these resistors here. The NCP 420 chip, everything around it looks fine. I know that this is sometimes a cause of a beep on, beep off in the rare occasion, but there doesn't seem to be anything wrong around this chip from what I can visually see. Even this MOSFET looks like it's been changed because it's just got flux around it. It seems like I've bought 3 Xboxes that have all had attempted fixes, which kind of sucks when you think about it. All of the MOSFETs I've just measured have a voltage drop of 0.6, which is exactly what they're meant to have on the gate of the MOSFET, which is the single trace that you can see go into it, meaning all of the MOSFETs down on the power rail seem to be fine. So I'm a little bit stumped. I've been poking around chips, trying to find out what's going on, but I can't find anything. I have the 12 volt, the 1.8, the 1.1, the 3.3, the 5 volt, all of the voltages are present on the board. What's sticking with me is that there was that heat spot on the south bridge around about here. I think what I'm gonna do is reflow or try to reflow the south bridge, which I know isn't really advised, but I haven't got any other ideas on what to do. So I'm gonna try that. One other thing I forgot to mention, I've checked around this IC as well, which is I think considered the RAM IC. Is it the 519 chip? I've checked there and that also seems okay from what I can tell. I used 480 degrees Celsius there with an airflow speed of 99%, and it took me about 3 or 4 minutes to actually get this to nudge. Just gonna give it a clean with some IPA, let it cool down. I used a lot of flux there, a lot of flux. If I get a beep out of this, I'll be pleasantly surprised that I haven't just completely knackered the board because of what I tried to do with Southbridge. It still makes a beep, but there is no light down here. So it's kind of gone back to what it was at first. No light at all down here, but just a beep. I'm just gonna get the fan header and plug that in and see if we get any spin, because if you remember rightly before, it didn't. So do we get any spin? We get a light now. We get fan spin. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm gonna turn this off quickly before it overheats. I'm gonna put some stuff back together. There's not a chance this actually works. I've plugged everything in. I've plugged the fan in, the heatsink, the power, hard drive, disk drive, and I've also got the HDMI cable in just in case miracles happen. So I'm going to plug in the power now. So there's power. We now just get a beep. I've just taken the disk drive out because we've gone back to a beep with no light. Putting in a different power supply again. Just not wanting to play ball now. Okay, I've got the white light. I don't know if you can see on my glove down here. But now I don't have fan spin. I did a second ago. Honestly, I find it so interesting that different parts of this board keep working and stopping. I'm just feeling on the X clamp, which is the clamp on the back of the Xbox One S, it's so hot. So I can imagine the CPU just being boiling at the moment. And I'm hoping that the fan would kick in, but it's evidently not. But you guys saw it spin a second ago, so I'm so confused. If I take the hard drive out, do we get a fan spin? No. And the light is still on. The light is a white light, but it's just no spin now. I just tried a different front daughter board as well to see if that was maybe why it was causing it to turn off, but it's not. I also checked all of the capacitors around the RAM chips. Could it be RAM? Potentially, but it doesn't indicate that it's getting hot under the thermal cam. Should we see if that heat spot's gone on the south bridge? It's a good point. Here we go, that's the south bridge chip. You can see the radiant heat from the CPU underneath the fan just there. But if I go to turn this on now, yeah, we still get that heat spot underneath the south bridge lit. Wonder if that is the cause. 36 degrees again, and just turns off. I have just remembered as well, I've just plugged in the fan that it was working on because I just switched to this one expecting it to work. So let's see if it's the fan itself. No, it's not. That's not spinning now, even though it's plugged in. I honestly don't know what else to do with this one. I feel like I've given it a good go and a good test. Maybe some further inspection down the power rail on this side is needed, but there's a lot of components down there to swap out. Plus the fact that in diode mode, all of the readings were looking normal, around about the 0.4 to 0.6 voltage drop. If you have any ideas of what might be wrong with this one, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. Potentially, I'll look at revisiting this in a live stream perhaps. And I'm sorry I wasn't able to fix it, but I gave it a good go. As always, we're just learning, and as always, eBay is a risk. Please bear that in mind if you're looking to try and get into this. eBay is a complete and utter risk. I managed to fix 1 out of the 3 Xboxes that I purchased on eBay. So on this lot, unfortunately, I have made a loss. But I've got some nice parts to use in future videos. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.